Today, you're going to get two things from this video. You're going to get my review and my thoughts on what might be the hottest driver in the world right now, the Callaway Elyte. I'm also going to give you an update on where my swing is at. You may remember a few months ago, I went down to San Diego and I took a lesson with Me and My Golf. And the idea was, let's make my swing not garbage because it's been really rough. So I've been slowly practicing, slowly making some changes. We have a long ways to go, but I'm going to give you an update on that. And we're gonna look at some of the numbers from now with this driver compared to the numbers from a few months ago that I took with some other drivers and see how both those clubs as well as my swing changes have affected the numbers. I haven't done a comparison like this yet, but I'm really curious just for my own peace of mind to see if I'm making progress. And based on the few shots I have hit with this, I think that there's gonna be some positive changes. Also, huge thank you to Golf Galaxy. They're the ones that made this video possible. They reached out to me and said, hey, here's a little bit of money and gift cards. You go buy whatever you want that you think your audience is going to be most interested in having you review. So the first thing we did was a lab putter. Second thing was the TaylorMade QI10. And then I used the rest of the money to pick up this, the Callaway Elyte, because I wanted to know for myself if it's actually as good as everybody is saying it is. Also, quick little side story about how good their service is. So I ordered this. It showed up the next day with one slight problem. So ordered a new driver from Golf Galaxy and it showed up like this. Not cool, but hopefully go get it exchanged real quick and put it to the test. So the Golf Galaxy store that was closest to me was like half an hour away in the complete wrong direction of where I was going to be going, but there was a Dick's Sporting Goods. So I went in, I told them what happened. I said, hey, I just ordered this. Here's my driver, it's snapped in half. They had the exact same one that I bought in stock, and in like 5 minutes, they had exchanged it and I was on my way. That's one of the reasons why I personally like buying through Golf Galaxy is if I ever need to talk to somebody, or if I need help and I want to talk to someone in person or demo things out, you've got both Golf Galaxy stories and you've got Dick's Sporting Goods, either of which they're owned by the same company. You can go into either one. So there's been multiple times I've taken advantage of that and it's just super convenient and super easy. All right, let's go hit some balls and see what's going on. Okay, so I just hit 10 driver shots and I'm really excited to see what this looks like because I think there's gonna be some pretty stark differences between this session and previous sessions I have done. So just as a refresher of what I'm working on, let's take a look at this clip from my lesson with Piers and Andy of Me and My Golf.
But the most important thing today is if we need to get your club face square in the swing.
Yeah.
If we do that, the whole body's gonna move, the club's gonna wanna swing more on plane. So let's jump in, let's get straight into the grip. So if you just take your usual for me, and we'll sort of see what that right arm would normally do. It would sort of go straight over, and this right hand would be a little bit more on this side. So the right arm is over here. And as we said, it encourages this face now to want to open like this. So this is really where you are in the swing. This is a weaker face. So when we now swing down to the golf ball, there's a lot of loft on the face. And this is why we call it weak, really. So left hand, we know we've done some work on that. We've still got to make sure we see the back of these knuckles on the hand. Right hand now, I want to get the elbow a little bit more facing this way.
Okay.
And from here now, we're just going to turn the hand. Good. And now we're going to go on the side. There we go. Feel how different that is. So this now is in a neutral place where this V is not more up to here, and this elbow is a little bit more turned in.
Okay. Oh, that was the best one of the day. So the big things for me, switching from a very weak grip to a more neutral grip, really making sure that I get a hip turn and keeping my club face square, which unbeknownst to me, I wasn't doing that in my backswing. So I'm trying to put all these things together to get rid of my massive slice. I'm trying to get the ball to go left instead of right and trying to add distance and reduce driver spin. So there's just a few of the things that are going on. So let's take a look at the numbers. So as I mentioned, one of the things I did with this club was I picked up a 9-degree driver versus a 10.5-degree driver because hitting it high is not my problem. I hit it high with a lot of spin and basically the ball drops and I get 0 roll. So my hope was that by reducing the loft along with some of the swing changes, I'd be able to get more rollout in a further total drive distance. Okay, so let's take a look at these numbers real quick. So right off the bat, in looking at these numbers, 233, 214, 207, 221, 222, my carry distance is about the same as what my total distance was with the previous drivers I tested with that older swing. Okay, so let's take a look at this real quick. So these are carry distances. This is the pink line is me with the QI10 Max from TaylorMade, and then the green one is the Tour Edge E725, which were both 10K drivers. So already on most of these shots, you can tell that the carry distance is a little bit further than with either of those other drivers. But then when you switch over to total distance, things get dramatically different. The carry distance with the Callaway driver and these swing changes significantly further than it was with either of those other two drivers. So let's actually get down and look at some of these numbers. So since this is a review, one of the things I want to point out that I do think is driver related as opposed to swing is ball speed. 134 right here, average ball speed with the TaylorMade, similar, 133.6. And then you come down to the average with the Callaway, 140.2. So we're getting 6 extra miles per hour of ball speed, which is not insignificant. So now let's move over to spin rates. So if you look at my average spin with the Tour Edge, almost 4,000 RPMs with the driver, 4,000 RPMs with the QI10 Max. Now with the Callaway and these swing changes, 2266. I've cut my spin rates in half with my driver, and let's look at the result that has had on total distance. So total distance with the Tour Edge, 219. Total distance with the QI10 Max, 219. Total distance with the Callaway, 249. So 30 extra yards in total distance. And now I don't think this is necessarily all the club. I think some of it may be, but this is what we're seeing with some of these swing changes. When I'm actually practicing this and doing this the correct way, it does mostly get rid of my slice. So honestly, with this swing change, every time I've taken it to the course, it has been gnarly. But I'm slowly, like as we can see in this session, slowly starting to dial it in. Not everything is going left with my driver as I would like it to. When I'm doing my new swing the way it's intended to with my irons, pretty much everything is going dramatically left, which is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get everything to go left. That's a win. But I haven't been able to then do that and straighten it out. And I will say I'm seeing a similar effect with my 7-iron as well. So typically my carry on my 7-iron is like 145, 150. And when I'm doing this correctly, even though it's going way left, I'm getting a carry distance of like 165, 170, sometimes even further. And so I still have a long ways to go in terms of consistency. I still have a long ways to go in terms of kind of straightening this out and being able to control it. But we're seeing progress. Like, we're seeing progress. And looking at these numbers, even though, if we go and look at the dispersion, I was all over the place. We had one big slice over to the right. We had one big one over to the left. But, all of these were kind of, in a reasonable range. And total distance on all of them is over 240 yards, which I haven't seen in quite a while. So I'm really excited to continue to test out this club. I know in their marketing they say it can add up to 7 yards or whatever it is. Whether that's true or not, I mean, I believe it if you look at the numbers. I think most of these changes are due to some of the swing changes I have made, but this club feels really good. It feels really consistent. If you don't hit the center of the club face, the ball still goes more than I would have expected it to. Is it as forgiving as some of those 10K drivers? Honestly, I'm not a good enough golfer to really be able to tell. I will say it seems like it's at least as forgiving or close to it, but also seems to have more distance, because that's one of the knocks on the 10K drivers is in order to get to that 10K MOI, you're basically giving up a little bit of distance in order to get extra forgiveness. The Callaway so far does seem pretty forgiving while also having pretty significant distance. So I got some golf trips coming up. I'm hoping I can continue to get this dialed. I will do another update sometime early in the spring on progress and where things are going. But so far, I'm happy with where things are at, and I think it's progress. I think we're coming along. These numbers make it look like it's progress, even though consistency, aim, like that's still not great. But we're moving in the right direction. So I'm excited to see that. So all that to say, is this thing worth $599? Yeah, I mean, if you can afford it and you want the newest, the best, the latest, the greatest, and this is definitely a driver you should add to your list to test out. Can you also get some phenomenal drivers for half the price that were from like last season? Yes. So don't feel like you have to go out and get the latest and greatest, because is it actually that much better? I don't know. Probably not necessarily. In some cases, you'll get more generational leaps. This one seems like it has been a pretty big leap in comparison to some of their previous models. But go test it out for yourself and go see. But all that to say, so far I am pleased with this. I'm pleased with the switch to a 9-degree loft setting. and I'm excited to dig in more and see what we can do. With that, my name's Sean Ogle. I'm founder of this thing here at Breaking 80, where we talk about cool golf products, cool golf reviews. If you got some value out of this, then maybe hit subscribe, drop a comment, do all the things, and we will see you on the next video. Peace.